Hey, it's Hunt. You found Hunt on Saints. We're talking black and gold football. Do us a favor, hit the like button, share your comments below, and hit that subscription button so you can get all of our content. Enjoy.
Joining me right now, John Hendrix from Sports Illustrated, does a little work with Boot Crew Media as well, a busy guy. John, how are you today?
I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Look, second day of training camp just wrapped up a few hours ago. I know you've been busy covering it. What's kind of your overall thoughts in training camp? I mean, what's kind of the vibes out there?
Yeah, I think it's good vibes. I think it's positive vibes. I feel like, covering this team for so long, that I feel like this is going to be a pretty good team this year. I feel like the mood has changed. The locker room felt different in OTAs and minicamp. You just get a sense of how excited people are to have Derek Carr in the building and just what he's been able to do and how reinvigorated he is. And Dennis Allen feels like he's got a lot more comfortability under him. There's a lot more of his guys underneath him and such. But look, I feel like practice flow has been pretty good. I feel like DA has done a good job here. And, look, I can sit here and tell you it's been all good, but fans, after two losing seasons, they just want to see it out on the field now.
What's kind of stood out to you? I mean, are there any surprises so far through the first 2 days? I know we're still pretty early.
Yeah, I mean, as far as surprises go, I think the fact that, the first day they had 100% attendance, that's a big step forward. And then obviously today, Trevor Penning dealing with a foot injury. It's not in the same one. He had his sprain surgery, so that's good news, and DA considers him day-to-day. But, just seeing some of these guys playing the way they are, Andrew Dow forcing a couple fumbles today, seeing Peyton Turner making some positive impact plays in the first 2 days, seeing Michael Thomas doing some things, and Jimmy Graham, I think that's probably been the surprise for me. I thought if, you would have asked me the other day if he was going to sign with the team more or less, to actually play, I just never would have guessed that. And so, look, I think most everybody looks in pretty good shape so far. And, I think surprise-wise, Peyton Turner's one of them, Andrew Dow's another one, and just the overall mood of this team just being, as positive as it has been.
Well, let's stick with Jimmy Graham. He's kind of been the big headline leading up to training camp. How is he looking out there? I saw some clips. He looked really good. I mean, he looks a little bit slimmed down, but I mean, overall for a guy who's 36, he seems like he's still in pretty good shape. He took the year off last year, but I mean, he seems like he's kind of exceeding everybody's expectations right now.
Yeah, look, Dennis Allen was super impressed at how good he looked in his workout the other day. And look, he said that he looked in top shape. He does look like he's in top shape. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that definitely means he's going to make the final roster, all this other stuff, but he looks like he's a guy that is here and is serious about coming back and playing. And, look, I think that goes a long way. And, he made a couple of good catches today and such and just missed a seam route that would have really set everybody on fire, for sure. But, overall, I think he looks pretty good. He's not going to be the guy that they drafted way back in the day, but, he does look comfortable out there, getting acclimated with things. Just looks kind of like Jimmy, used to do, but just age, older, just kind of like your comic book nerd, Old Man Wolverine, I guess is what I would call him.
How's the tight end room looked as a whole? Because it was a little bit of a confusing signing for me. I mean, Jimmy Graham, obviously a great talent, but you like what you saw from Jawan Johnson last year. You just brought in a Morrow. What's the Taysom Hill role kind of going to be? How many reps is he going to get at tight end? I mean, what's that room as a whole kind of looking like right now?
Yeah, I think that remains to be seen because I think they have the most interesting tight end room in the league, just because Jawan Johnson's the guy that builds off of last year, and he's going to develop some real nice chemistry. He has developed chemistry with Derek Carr. You had Foster Moreau in there. I think he looked really good, made a really good catch today. And then you kind of have Taysom Hill, which is, they've said that they have a better idea and understanding of how to use him. And so whether that's with the tight ends, whether that's quarterback, whether it's powers, runs, kind of remains to be seen. And obviously I want to see it before, we totally believe it. But, last year we saw plenty of times where they didn't deploy him in the right way, at the right time. And then when they did and get him going, you're sitting there wondering, why didn't they do this sooner? And so look, when I did my early final roster predictions, I gave an extra slot to the tight end group and gave it to Lucas Kroll, assuming that Johnson, Hill, and Moreau were going to be the top three. I don't know. It pushes a guy like Lucas Kroll with Jimmy Graham in the mix, but, again, it's going to come down to an interesting numbers game. And if Graham can blow him away, I think he has a spot in this team. But, with Taysom last year, 20-plus snaps, they ended up going, I think, 6-2, and they were winless when he didn't get anything like that.
Look, obviously you got a lot of weapons on offense. We know about the receivers. You got 3 pretty solid running backs. The tight end position's looking good. What have you seen from Derek Carr, though? I mean, it's got to be a pretty different vibe now that you have a bona fide starter out there under center, right?
Yeah, there's a breath of fresh air around the team, the locker room, and just the fact that of what he's capable of doing. And look, he's a guy who said it, but he's not coming here to take over. He's just coming in here to it's not a one person like team. It's a group of players that are trying to lead the charge here and get the team out of the team. Obviously, when it's the game, but look, Carr is developed in this team. He's responsible for a lot of things that the quarterback should be left or not. We're not. And we're always going to be taking the line. Their Carr's going to get to those technical lines. He's going to have a lot more freedom with the play call and taking out plays and doing things. I mean, the trust level between him and Carmichael is good. And, so now it's just making sure they put it all together and with the chemistry and the timing down. We had a couple of those things that I'm sure he's going to back. But, when it's something that just put the ball in a different spot, but better than the receivers, they're all work to the best.
Hey, John, I hate to cut you off, but you're breaking up pretty bad. We're gonna hang up. We're gonna call you right back. Try to fix this signal, okay? Look, he seems pretty excited about the tight end spot. We're gonna call him back. That was just, that was pretty bad there. I apologize for that one. It's not a perfect system. Sometimes your phones mess up a little bit, but he's not the only one I've heard that is really high on Jimmy Graham. I mean, we saw some highlights coming out of camp today. Looked really, really good. I mean, he slimmed down a little bit. He always had that thicker body when he was here back in the day during his first stint with New Orleans. Slimmed down, looked really quick in and out of his breaks on those routes. I didn't see him drop a pass, but I'm really excited about that. All right, looks like we got John on right now. We're going to go back to him. Rejoined right now, John Hendrix, Sports Illustrated out there at Saints Camp. John, let me get you all over again. What has the vibe kind of been like with Derek Carr under center?
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know. Phones are a heck of a thing. Signal, all that stuff. But, what I was saying is that, the vibe and everything is a lot different with Derek Carr in the building. He's playing with a lot of confidence. I think there were some throws today that obviously he wanted to have back, but it wasn't because of turnovers or anything like that. Just timing that he's working on with his receivers, making sure he has all the nuances of the game. And look, it's going to be a little bit different of how things ran, reminiscent to Drew Brees, but not Drew Brees, in the sense that he's going to make a lot of the checks at the line of scrimmage, something that Eric McCoy's done the past couple of years. He's going to be able to check out of the plays a good bit and have some freedom to play call different things and ad-lib, if you will. And, look, he has a great relationship so far with Pete Carmichael, and they see eye to eye on things, and I think it's only going to help flourish more as we go along with things.
Look, as far as the position battles, I mean, we've talked about ad nauseum everywhere in Louisiana sports media about, what's the offensive line rotation going to look like? Who's going to win that battle in the outside corner opposite Marshall and Lattimore? Is it going to be Paulson Adebo? Is it going to be Alontae Taylor? Which position battles are you kind of watching right now?
Yeah, look, I think the specialist battles have been pretty interesting. I think Blake Grupe, I don't know if he'll beat out Will Lutz, and I don't know if Lou Hedley's going to beat out Blake Wilson, but I think they're certainly going to make a run for it. And, I'm not so sure that Grupe won't be on a roster in week 1 for another team if he doesn't win the job. You mentioned outside corner. The interior offensive line is a big battle with the shuffling that they're going to have to do with, the uncertainties of Andres Pete going a full season, and same thing with maybe, Cesar Ruiz depends. And so, look, I like that. I like the wide receiver battle. I think that past Michael Thomas, Shaheed, and Olave, that everything's up for grabs. And so I'm really interested and anxious to see where things develop there. I think the pass rush position opposite of Cam Jordan is also another spot to pay attention to. And what linebacker steps up to the table who's able to put into production that was reminiscent of Caden Ellis last year.
Yeah, that's the thing. I want to kind of dive into linebacker. I mean, obviously, your 2 starters are as solid as any in the league, and in Demario Davis and P. Werner. You got Zach Bond behind them, but after that, it's a relative unknown. I mean, you got Anthony Orji that you drafted. You got DeMarco Jackson. How have those younger guys behind Warner and Davis really looked so far?
Yeah, I think, as of right now, it's defaulted to Zach Bond kind of picking up those reps right now. And, after that, Andrew Dowell's this guy that's looked really good the first couple of days, causing some turnovers and stuff. But, as far as the younger guys, DeMarco Jackson has had some impressive moments, but he also slipped on a route today. It led to a big completion for the offense and such. And so for the other guys, it's nothing really noticeable because they also have some other vets like Ryan Connolly out there and Ty Summers that kind of take some of that role. So these younger guys are going to get a chance to prove themselves, and that's why I'm interested when we move into preseason, when we do move into joint practices, that I think it's going to come more into focus. And so I know they have a great coach in Michael Hodges to coach them up. I just want to know who's that backup plan, because Warner, who's dealt with injuries in the past, he dealt with injuries in camp last year. Look, I'm not so sure that they're done adding at that position, but at the same time, they do feel good about that room and their abilities. And so we might see one of these unsung heroes come, out of the woodwork and be able to have some more playing time. But the Saints operate more in a nickel formation. So, usually you just have those two linebackers out there at any time.
John, look, it's training camp. It's positivity season. Everyone's riding the hype train preseason. Is there anything kind of concerning to you so far that's maybe giving you caution that you want to kind of see improvements on?
Yeah, I think two things for me, just because of what they want to improve on last year, is that, I want to see a little bit more from the interior rush. I want to see them get after the quarterback a little bit more and obviously stop the run. I think that's a spot that's a little bit underrated that has some talent there. I know you got Brian Bresee and obviously Colin Saunders, who left early today because of an illness, and Nathan Shepard's supposed to be a better pass rusher there, and you got back Malcolm Roach. So, I want to see a little bit there and the offensive line, just the health and the plan there, because, obviously even Trevor Penning, even if it is a minor injury, it's another thing with his foot that's going on right now. They're holding him out more as a precaution. They have James Hurst. They have some other veterans they got, like Trey Turner and Max Garcia, that might help push the depth chart a little bit. But, that's my biggest thing is, can they survive, or how long can this starting vision of what you have in the trenches last? And what is the backup plan to that? And what are they going to do if something does happen? Because you don't invest so much money into guys like Derek Carr and then, don't protect them properly. You can't get the run lanes open. They've got to make sure that those plans and the backup to those plans are solid.
John, the Saints obviously have a talented roster. You look at it, at least starter-wise, offense and defense, all the pieces, for the most part, seem to be there, but there are a lot of people, Saints fans that do still have some concerns about Dennis Allen. What are your overall expectations for this team right now, at least heading into the 2023 season?
Yeah, it's got to be playoffs or bust. You don't go through two seasons without the playoffs and postseason, and you don't rebuild and refill this roster with a lot of good talent and have as good of a draft class as you do to finish as a mediocre person again, or a mediocre team again. And so, look, I think they should be the favorites to win the NFC South. I know some people are on Atlanta's train, which I don't really understand. Tampa's kind of in the wind right now. And in Carolina, I don't know what we'll get out of Carolina. They're a team that's hard to figure out, but I would err more on the side of that they're going to not be as great of a football team. But the Saints are going to have to earn their division. I think they have a great opportunity to be one of the top dogs in the conference and maybe be a sleeper team. I know a lot of people nationally are sleeping on them, giving them only 9 wins. I'm a lot more optimistic on them this year. Most optimistic I've felt in a couple of years. I think they can be a 10 and 11 win team easily. And they have a certain, strength of schedule that's favorable. But look, I think for Dennis Allen, he just needs to show people that he can win football games, shred that Raiders label that he had in the past, and just be able to go win football games. And that's all that we can ask there. And that's going to ultimately make fans feel better about their situation.
John Hendrix, Sports Illustrated, covering the Saints here for their training camp. John, I've kept you long enough, and I know you are a very busy man this week, so thanks for squeezing in a little bit of time with me.
No problem. Sorry about the phone issues. No idea.
All good, man. All right, man. We appreciate your time. That was John Hendrix with Sports Illustrated.
Hey, it's on. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, Help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.